Hi everybody, this is Debbie Ray, owner of PedigreedPups.com, and today I want to take a little time to speak with you about some poisonous foods to avoid with your dogs, things that may be in your home that you're not even aware of that are poisonous that you might want to really consider in the future. The first thing dog owners should be aware of, just don't assume that human grade foods are safe for your pets, because many of them are not and a lot of them are toxic. So here we go. First thing I want to talk to you about, you may not be aware of, onions. Also chives and garlic. These are all toxic to pets. Onions and garlic both contain thiosulfate, but of the two, onions are definitely the most toxic. Thiosulfate can cause potentially fatal hemolytic anemia in dogs and cats. What happens is that the pet's red blood cells actually burst while circulating through its body. So onion poisoning can occur with only one single ingestion of a large quantity of onion-laced foods, or it can also occur with meals containing smaller amount of onions. You know, over time you have more and more and more of these smaller meals with onions in them. And it seems that garlic overall is less toxic, but that also larger amounts of garlic would need to be eaten to cause illness in your dog. Many people still recommend small amounts of garlic for pets, but just be aware that one small clove of garlic per 20 pounds of body weight or regular doses of onions in any amount per day can cause the circulating red blood cells to burst in your dog or cat's body. The best thing to do, just keep your pet away from them in the first place. Next, we're going to talk about macadamia nuts. The toxic compound in macadamia nuts is unknown, but it is known that dogs can be poisoned by as few as 6 macadamia nuts. Macadamia nut butter also has a similar effect on pets. What happens? Affected dogs will exhibit problems with walking, with muscle weakness or tremors, or even paralysis in the hind limbs, as well as pain or swollen limbs, and a lot of pain if the dog's legs are moved. There is an upside to this poisoning from macadamia nuts, however. The good thing about it is dogs do seem to recover from toxicity over time, you know, when you quit giving them the macadamia nuts. Even so, it's a good idea to keep these macadamia nuts from your pets at all times. And chocolate. Now, a lot of people are aware of this, chocolate and cocoa products. Theobromine and caffeine are the active ingredients in chocolate that are dangerous to dogs and also to other animals. Theobromine is a cardiac stimulant and also a diuretic. Dogs can pass large volumes of urine and will also be unusually thirsty. Theobromine's effects on the heart are much more dangerous, however. Two things can potentially happen. First, it will either increase your dog's heart rate or it may cause the heart to beat irregularly. Either way, death is very possible and can occur within 24 hours of chocolate ingestion. It doesn't take much either. As few as 20 ounces of milk chocolate or only 2 ounces of baking chocolate can easily poison a 10-pound dog. Cocoa powder, cocoa bean mulches, and all forms of chocolate are also dangerous. So just remember, the darker the chocolate is, the worse it is for dogs. The darker the chocolate is, the better it is for you. But anyway, the darker the chocolate, the more toxic it is to your pets. Rule of thumb, just keep your dogs away from all forms of chocolate or chocolate products or cocoa products. One thing that a lot of people aren't aware of are raisins or also grapes. These can easily lead to kidney failure in dogs no matter how many they eat. And let me state that again. They can lead to kidney failure no matter how many they eat. No one knows exactly what the toxic component in grapes is, and it's also unclear if only certain dogs are affected or if long-term ingestions can be the same as one large ingestion. But overall, just make sure that you keep all forms of raisins and grapes away from your dog in any amount. Tomatoes. Tomatoes, you would think, oh, these are always real healthy. Well, they are for people, but for dogs it can cause heart arrhythmias and tremors. So keep tomatoes away from your dogs. Yeast dough. Now, yeast dough can cause excessive gas in the digestive system after the dog eats it, causing pain, and it can also do much more harm in that it can potentially rupture the stomach or the intestines as the dough expands, and it can also cause alcohol poisoning in your dog's system. Now, avocados of any kind, whether it be the actual avocado itself, the pit, the plant, any of that. Keep all sorts of avocados away from your pet. Same thing with pear pits, plum kernels, any of this, apple core pits, peaches and apricots. All of these things contain, y'all bear with me, a cyanogenic glycosides, which can result, it's been a long day, y'all, which can result in cyanide poisoning in your dog. So at any rate, just keep any kind of pear pits, plum kernels, peaches, apricots, apple core pits, just keep all that away from your dog. The next thing you want to watch, and a lot of people are aware of, is any kind of product sweetened with xylitol. Now this is used to sweeten a lot of sugar-free candies and gums that we have today. The bad thing about this, it can cause liver failure and also low blood sugar. But the liver damage is the thing that makes it most difficult to save dogs poisoned by this. And it's very, very dangerous, so keep your dogs away from these products. Any kind of moldy or spoiled foods, you just want to automatically assume that these are going to be poisonous to your dog. So you wouldn't want to eat that. You don't want to give your pet that either. You don't know what kind of molds or whatever are on there. Just keep your pet away from any kind of moldy or spoiled foods. Alcohol. Alcohol should always be considered dangerous to your pets. Alcohol poisoning can occur. So just always keep anything, beer, wine, the harder stuff, just keep all of it away from your pet. And like we talked about earlier with chocolate, coffee beans, teas, coffee grounds, these also contain caffeine, and this is the thing that in these particular items is toxic to pets. So keep any of these away from your pets also. Now you wouldn't want to have these yourself, and a lot of people do smoke. You know how bad it is for you, all the dangerous chemicals in there and there. I won't go into it, but you want to keep these away from your pets too. Additionally, cigarette butts and cigarette smoke, all these are potentially toxic to your dog, so keep your dogs away from these. Hops are used in brewing your home beers and that sort of thing. You want to keep these away from your pet as well because they are toxic also. Foreign bodies. You never want to give your dog any kind of, cooked poultry bones. It's never a good idea, no matter, how much your pet begs for these. These bones are highly prone to splintering, which in turn sends all sorts of shards through the dog's intestinal tract. And one nick in that intestinal lining can lead to potentially dangerous peritonitis. So you want to keep this away from your dogs. Don't give them any kind of cooked poultry bones. Also, you don't want to give them any kind of really rich, really fatty, or very, very spicy foods. You want to keep these away from your dogs. They can cause intestinal upsets in your pet. Fatty treats can also lead to a serious inflammation of the pancreas or the intestine, which is also potentially dangerous. So just keep in mind, keep all this stuff away from your pets and you should have no problem. One of the most important things to know is what to do in case of an emergency. Do you know where to take your dog? In the event that something happens after regular hours, or on the holidays, or the weekends, or at night when your veterinary hospital is closed. It's always a good idea to keep any emergency phone numbers for your pet, in a place that's easy to find very, very quickly. Post them on your refrigerator, or type them up, hang them somewhere in your home where it's easy to see, write them in your phone book or whatever. But it's a really good idea to keep all these numbers handy just in case you need them, because you never know. If you want to know more information about various breeds of AKC registered purebred dogs, please visit our site, pedigreedpups.com. And I hope this information was helpful to you. Thank you very much.